Bingo, bango, bongo. Let's go.
La Bamba.
Starting early. Episode number 3 of the Oilers Uncensored podcast.
The clinched edition.
The clinched edition. I must say, pretty prophetic on the last episode.
Call me Papa Prophecy. Because I told you. I just had a weird feeling.
Yeah.
The way they were grooving and running, I thought they'll clinch.
Yeah.
And they did.
Not only will they clinch, so you said they will clinch by the time we do the next episode in those 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were going to do an episode maybe before the game yesterday, but we knew, no, we're going to clinch. You know, we got Colorado's number now.
Yeah. See you in the conference finals.
Yeah.
Avs.
Oh, I'm so tempted to jump right to fucking that Avs game last night, but we probably should.
No, we'll start with the Golden Knights. I got some takes on that game.
All right.
Smitty's second shutout in a row.
120 minutes of shutout.
Yes.
Big deal.
Yeah, he was good. Vegas didn't look very good.
They didn't.
I don't know.
They are in shambles, man.
They are in shambles. And how fucking funny is it to see them in shambles like this after they just like
cap gymnastics?
I don't know. Their GM just went balls to the wall, man. Like he started their inaugural year. They went to the Cup final with kind of this ragtag bunch of cronies that nobody else wanted. They got Fleury and somehow outcast him to like Timbuktu the last couple of years. Like, sorry, Fleury,
I think from that first
out.
run to the Cup final, they only have like 6 guys still.
Yeah, and they're just going after all these blockbuster huge like Pietrangelo, Eichel, Stone, and it's like, you guys are pretty fucking good. Why are you like selling the farm to get all these like? Eichel was a guy that when I heard he was available, like I wouldn't touch him if I was a GM. Like
Vegas. If I was a GM of a lot of teams, I would.
Arizona, but like any good team with a good core and like Vegas had, why do you need to have a guy like Eichel? They just it's
what
like
did they give up for Eichel?
Fuck all. I'll look it up right now.
Because I would imagine it would have to have been something because Buffalo was being so goddamn stingy with what they wanted for him. They wouldn't trade him.
They gave him Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs, and some draft picks.
And I think Tuck's playing really well for them.
Tuck is sick. Tuck was so good for them in that like the playoff runs. And man, I don't get it.
This is the thing,
he has like
there's no
superstar goggles.
there.
He just goes me and just zones
How
in on
does he go?
super me.
One more time.
Me.
But I think you're right on the money there. I think it's karma because there's no loyalty. They like the way they fucking did Fleury dirty for a bag of pucks. Nobody like that. Nobody in NHL. He's like the most well-loved person in NHL. You treat him like shit like that on the way out. Give him a kick on the ass on the way out and a nice little video package when he comes back through.
I think everybody forgets what they did to their coach.
What did they do to their coach?
They fired him.
And he was good. Yeah,
he took him to the Cup final. Did they fire him right after the Cup final? I think he went one more year.
Yeah,
they lost
midway through the next year or something.
And then they bring in this DeBoer, who's some like fucking clown that couldn't even like. I don't know.
Take the San Jose
like
Sharks.
Why would you get? I don't know. It just they've done a lot of baffling things where.
But I think that's why it's so sweet to watch the absolute shambles they're in now. Right, getting. They were already in not the greatest spot, but that seemed like that was the nail in the coffin. 4-0 shellacking by the Oilers, right? And they did not look good. And now we were just talking about this before the pod, but there's some shit coming out about Robin Lehner who missed a game and it was disclosed as personal reasons. And then insider whatever thing comes out and it says Robin Lehner out for the year of season-ending surgery. Then they run it by DeBoer and he's like, nope. I know nothing of this. I expect him to be here at practice tomorrow in the game on Sunday. And it's like, how do you have that much fucking chaos in your organization? Yeah, that's nuts. Do you think they're trying to finagle? Like, Leonard's a pretty big cap hit. Do you think they're trying to finagle more just because they brought Stone back in and whatever? Or are they actually just that disjointed that they're all over the map? I think it's Leonard is that guy. He's very outspoken. He doesn't like this. I think he's just seeing the chaos around him is like, I'm done with you fucks. I want out of here. Yeah. And it's like, we're not winning this. And apparently he's been playing through this knee injury since like, I can't remember. There was some date on it, but like, and they just trying to March 8th or something. Been trying to ride him the whole time. Yeah. And it's funny too, because they're still only 2 points out. Mm-hmm. And Dallas is kind of floundering too. They've lost after Oilers put a shellacking on them. Yeah. Another shellacking this week that happened. But like,
they're gonna get in. If they do, they'll pass Dallas and they'll sit in that second wildcard spot and get Colorado in the first round.
Have
And
fun
it's
with
just
that.
man.
No Robin
Poor
Leonard.
guys.
Is Stone back now?
Yes, because he was playing on Saturday.
Right, yeah,
Him and
yeah.
Pacioretty are back, which I got to do a little bit more digging. I was under the understanding Stone is like done till playoffs because they can't bring him back. So I don't know who's.
Cap.
I think Riley Smith is hurt now
Maybe.
too. They got a bunch of shit going on. It's
Yeah.
too confusing
They're a hard team to
my
follow.
simple brain.
But like just absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Which is really nice to see for a
Yeah.
a franchise like the Oilers that is just
Yeah.
all about heart and loyalty.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And that's the thing, like that's a double-edged sword because if you go too far into trying to be loyal to guys and stuff, like you can end up like maybe like a Chicago in like the next couple of years where they're so loyal to that core group of like Taves. I don't know. They say they are. They say they are. I don't know if they actually are. We'll see.
Do you think Taves or Kane could move on somewhere?
I don't think
Or
either
do
of
you
them
think
want to
do you
go.
think they're just gonna ride it out, die Blackhawks?
If I had to put my money on it, I'd say they die Blackhawks, but because I think that's what they want. And I think they're kind of at the mercy of what they want to do.
It's just weird that Keith wanted out.
But he wanted to be closer to his family in BC or something, right?
True. Yeah.
And he's older and
Yeah. Keith, okay, I know you're not high on Keith anymore, but I think he's been playing pretty fucking
played really
solid
good.
lately.
He played really good last night.
Oh, he's solid,
you know what? Like it was that stretch in the middle of the year where he played really poorly.
Yeah, but he was concussed and he had all those things going on. He got concussed against his old team against the Blackhawks. That was tough.
Got
That was a
Jujar
sad look. And that was, Jujar Carrad himself.
himself.
Yeah, that was
Is he
tough.
still playing?
Kara? Oh,
Yeah.
no, I think he's out forever.
That's what I thought. After I saw it last night, I was like, I don't
Because
think
he's
he
at
should play.
like last year when remember who did he fight when he just got pickled?
That sucked.
Yeah, and then happened to him again, and then he got that hit. So he like 3 bad ones in
like
the
a calendar year.
matter of a year. So
Yeah, it's
like
tough.
I think he's
It's a tough look.
If he plays again, that'll be pretty miraculous. I think.
Miraculous. Yeah, I agree. So dummied Vegas, went in a couple days
Sorry,
off.
before we move on off of Vegas, I have an issue to bring up with TSN. That Vegas game, everyone's kind of selling that game as like the Oilers' biggest game of the year. You know, they win that.
Vegas is big of the year.
Vegas, like it was just kind
More
of that.
for the
It was
Oilers.
just a pivotal game, I guess, for both teams. Like if it would have went the other way, boom, Vegas is right back in it. Oilers are looking a little bit like Vegas could catch them. If Oilers win that game, it's like, okay, Oilers are out of reach now.
Right.
Vegas focus on wild card or LA, or it's out of reach. Oilers are in. And I turn on TSN that next morning and I tune in right 9 a.m. sharp, because I want to see the highlights. I want to see. And the first highlight pack they show is the Leafs Senators.
Brutal.
And they do a full like game breakdown, and I have to wait like 10 minutes to see it. Like, who's running the highlight show? Show us the big game. I don't want to see no Senators Leafs.
I agree.
That's the biggest potato fight.
Does that surprise you though?
It doesn't. I just
Right?
wanted to bring it up because
But it's more.
maybe
it's
someone
shit,
in
it's shit
TSN
like
will
that
hear
that-
this.
It's shit like that makes everyone hate Toronto,
Yes.
right? And it's tough to lay that on the fans, which we do anyway. But like, it's shit like that. It's like, yeah, that's why nobody likes you.
Yeah.
Fucking nerds.
Nerds. And that's why I don't like the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you think the Leafs are bad. There's 6 other Canadian teams. The Blue Jays are
that's what I-
just
but-
down your throat.
but I don't care for that reason.
Why? How come it's okay for the Leafs?
Because there's other teams other than the Leafs in Canada that should be shown and could be highlighted. It's not like you have one team, right? If the Leafs were the only Canadian team, I would expect them to do that. But when you have 6 other teams, 6? Vancouver, Edmonton,
Yeah,
Calgary.
there's 7 Canadian teams.
Yeah, 6. Quebec Nordiques. My mom last night at the game. What are those like jerseys with like the little like that
Fleur de
little
lure.
that little symbol of Fleur de lure.
Is that what it's called?
Something like that. Fleur de Lis or something. Fleur de
The Fleur de Lure. Look at that.
Fleur de lure.
No, that's the guy that just passed away.
Oh wow.
Guy Lafleur.
You're going there.
What?
Nah.
No, I'm just saying.
Wow, too soon. Jeez. Too soon.
Guy Fleur de Lure.
Guy Fleur de Lure. Oh boy. Lost Bossy and Lafleur in 1 week.
Yep.
Wow.
Get a couple bodyguards on Gretzky.
No, don't even say that. Don't
Watch
even
your
say
back.
that.
A Wayner.
He's way younger than them, no?
Yeah, but he also put some miles on his body, I think.
I bet.
Oh, yeah.
I bet. Yeah. I've heard he likes to get
Good on him, though.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking right. Him and Dustin Johnson probably out there
You
going.
don't become the GOAT by fucking, you know.
There's a good
being in bed
there's
by
a good
9.
picture after DJ won the green jacket. Him and Wayne are partying, and Wayne's nose was pretty red there.
I bet.
It
I
was a good
bet.
time. Wayne parties, I like.
Oh, fuck yeah, he does. And I think that's a testament to his goatness of like the fact that he does party like that, but still has his image so like to live both those worlds at the same time. That is impressive in itself.
I think,
Let alone the 6 billion points.
I think the key to greatness is drinking pop on the bench.
Is that what Gretzky did?
I saw Ovi drinks pop on the bench. Zdeno Chara drinks pop on the bench.
Nick von Mockenberg drinks
Diet pops.
Engel would kill me. Can you imagine?
Engel probably drinks diet pop on the bench in his old timers.
Yeah, right. He's too busy sniping.
And then I just saw a little clip of Wayne Gretzky like playing some pickup like old timers game for charity or something, and he's drinking pop on the bench. He's like, "Oh yeah, I always have. I never liked water or whatever. I always drank pop on the bench, Diet Pepsi." So I think if you want to make it in the show for all you kids out there
listening,
looking to take your game to the next level, throw some fucking soda in that Gatorade.
Some Coca-Cola in,
root beer maybe. I
Extra
don't know.
Zip depends. On, what are we talking? Playoffs,
Dr.
regular
Zip?
season, preseason.
Compliments Dr. Zip.
Is that your favorite?
Nah. Yeah, it's up there.
I don't know why I thought of that there. It sounded like it. So anything else on the Vegas before we move into the Dallas game?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my goodness. Oh, my headphones.
Something sounded weird.
Yeah, I only have sound in one headphone now.
Me too.
1 sec. Keep bam.
That's better. Yeah, there we go. Now I can hear you.
Sometimes you just got to stick it
Loud
in deeper.
and clear.
Sometimes.
Take it out, stick it back in harder.
Oh, spit on it a bit. Come on, this is getting off the rails.
Okay. We had a long night last night after the old clincher.
We did.
She
got a bit rowdy.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey, at least we were in Lori. We didn't.
Lori had a good night.
Yeah, Lori always has a good night. She's a fucking beauty.
Those other games have so much fucking fun. Like, we have too much fun at those games.
Yeah. I was stoked you asked me up to the box. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking watch.
Yeah. Well, you're always such a fucking weirdo about it because Ingo said earlier, he's like, well, if I chase him, I'm like, he's going to make a big deal. He's probably not going to come. So I just sent you a text. I was like, dude, like, no pressure. If you want to come up, you can. Like, yeah, I'll come up. What the fuck was the shit show trying to get up there? Watch you go in one door to the stairs, the correct door. I'm like, okay.
So here's what happened.
And usually it takes about 15 seconds less. 10 seconds to go from like the doors where you leave the concourse to pop out the top. So I see you go in and I'm just staring, waiting at the top and you just don't come through.
For some reason in my head, I had it in my head that we had to cross over.
If you go through the other door.
Yeah.
The other side of the bobbleheads.
So I had it in my head, we got to cross over here. And then I went up like 3-4 flights of stairs after crossing over and I'm like, this isn't right. Like we're up at the upper bowl here. I don't think we had to cross over. And then I came back down, and as I'm coming out the door, Sid was going in.
No, first you guys walked around to the other set of doors where you would have to cross over.
Yeah, but anyways, then we ran into Sid, and Sid was like, "Do you guys know where you're going?" I'm like, not really.
14-year-old Sid showing you guys what is going.
Well, she didn't know where she was going either, and then you had to yell at us. She's like, "No, just go in those doors."
Yeah.
Don't. And then literally, like, walk up the staircase. You see, I'm like, the sign is right there. Yeah.
And then you got in the box.
I was Lindy Muff. I was Lindy Muff drunk. That's probably why.
Where does that name come from?
Lindy Muff?
Yeah, tell the Lindy Muff story.
So, first time this is back in old
OG Rexall, yeah,
Rexall Place. And back then I knew you pretty well. I wouldn't say I knew Ingo very well yet.
Yeah.
Like
that's probably one of the first nights you met Ingo.
I'm homies with Ingo now, but back then I was like, it's still just like your friend's dad kind of deal. And you were going to the game against the Dallas Stars in the old box at Rexall. And Ingo was nice enough to give Fraser and I his seats to the game. So Fraser and I went, and after the game was over, Fraser and I had proceeded to drink a few pops at old Rexall. And then after the game, you said, "Hey, why don't you guys come up to the box? We're hanging around, have a drink."
We'll try and convince Ingo to come to Duke.
Yeah, we'll get Ingo to come out. So Fraser and I roll in, and the box in Rexall was way better because you could just get in right off the concourse. I don't know why we didn't get the invite earlier. It made us sit in the seats all game, but
it's because it was a very like corporate night. There was tons of customers and stuff. So it was just after. So you guys roll in.
So Ingo had some clients or whoever, some guys he's trying to woo, and me and Fraser come in. Probably a little bit too gone to be associating with that sort of crowd. So we went down in the seats and And it was the end of the ice where all the visiting team comes out. They have their family waiting for them, like their cousins, grandparents, whoever's at the game, local guys.
And that was my high school girlfriend was related to Vern Fiddler, so I see a bunch of them like meeting him down there and stuff. Yeah.
Emotional damage. So then,
emotional damage.
So then Lindy Ruff comes out, the coach of the Stars at the time. And he comes out, and I don't know who he's talking to. This looks like family. He's having a nice family talk. I don't know if he's a local guy or from Alberta or Western Canada or whatever. He had family there. And Fraser and I don't know why it came in my head, but I
really want to get his attention.
Hey, Lindy Muff. Lindy Muff. So
they just start screaming.
So
at
we're
Lindy
yelling.
Muff,
I've seen it.
Lindy
He said
Muff.
Lindy Muff. And you can he has that expression where you can tell he can hear us, but he's not going to look at us. And his family is like, fucking, what is going on? Why are these guys yelling?
These two drunk idiots yelling at you.
Lindy Muff. Look up here. Lindy Muff. So anyways, made fools of ourselves. But looking back, I think Ingo and his corporate buddies were getting a kick out of it. So
they were pretty cut by that point too.
Yeah, it was all in good fun. And then Ingo came out like a hero to Duke. So
bought the boys Teamers all night.
We got him in the back door. He thought, and then ever since then, the rest is history. Ingo's the boy.
He's one of the boys.
Yeah,
one of the boys. Yeah, yeah. So pulled another Lindy Muff night.
Yeah,
came in hot, had some fun.
Extremely.
So sorry, guys. I'm still dying. I've been working all week to get my voice back for this pod.
Yes, and it's back, baby. It might be gone after, but he's back. You might just have to hear a bit more of my voice.
Hey, take over, baby.
You're welcome. You're welcome. The soft, sultry
tones
of Chase Round.
Oh my God. Okay, well, before we hop into the
Dallas Stars
game, you want to hear another story?
Sure, let's go. Story time.
You might notice something different about me today in my attire.
Short shorts?
The short shorts.
I noticed when you were walking up the stairs, I'm like, he doesn't wear shorts that short very often.
Never. I never go above the knee. So in the whole move into this house, there ended up just being this random pair of shorts on my floor in my bedroom. Never seen them before. Little tight black things. And I'm like, whatever. Woke up this morning, beautiful day out, going to go for a walk.
Were they your ex-boyfriends?
Just like, so I'm like, I'll try these on. And a little short, but I look pretty good in these things. So I'm rocking these, like over a nice walk and all this. And then I come back to the house and Lori and Jason are here and look at them. I don't know whose shorts these are. Mine. My dad goes, there's a flower on the back pocket there. And I go, Mom, are these your shorts? She's like, yeah, those are mine. So I've been wearing my mom's shorts all day. But I look so good in them. She's never getting them back.
A little flower on the ass.
See? Look at it.
It says on the diva across your butt cheeks.
Juicy. Oh. Yeah, so I look great in women's shorts. That's the moral of the story. Anyway, back to hockey. So
we get
Wednesday
the Dallas
nighter,
Stars.
Yeah. Big ticket giveaway game.
Yes.
Yeah. So we had some Oilers Uncensored fans in the stands.
Yeah. You could supporters.
Supporters. That's the word.
Yeah. Glad they got to go see the game. We gave them some pretty good seats, and the Oilers had a good show. It was a good game.
Yeah. Bit more back and forth.
A little bit. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the Dallas game is more.
Me too. I was there, which is bad. I can't remember.
You were there, hey?
Yeah, I was. I bought some old nosebleeds.
Nice.
That was the first time all year I think I've been up there.
How was it?
And it's way fucking steeper than I remember.
It's kind of
scary, man.
I know.
You're standing up for the anthem and you're like, holy shit.
That's the only thing I remember from
getting
being
woozy.
Up there. Yeah, it's pretty fucking steep.
Yeah, it was, but it's cool. It's a cool look from up there.
You get a good view because of how steep it is, I think.
Yeah.
Right on top of the action.
No, from what I remember, I think it was 2-2 at one point, and then the Oilers
really
kind of made a bit of a runaway of it. They got two quick ones, a little quickie.
Who's your start of the game? We got to write this shit down.
I know.
It's hard to remember back, eh?
I'll have to look. That I think probably that I remember the Draisaitl Hyman Yamamoto line was buzzing all night long. The first period they were all over him, and then I remember texting you halfway through the second. I'm like, why are they always shit in the second? And
first 10 minutes,
and then they turned it on,
right?
Because the Dallas came back, tied it up 2-2, and then they got two goals kind of late in the second, made it 4-2, and then the third they just. I don't normally say this about the Oilers, but the third they just kind of shut it down and and got a late one. I think McDavid got an empty netter. 5-2 win. I think it was pretty. Maybe that's why I don't remember it. There wasn't anything too memorable. It was just like a good old
3-point night for McDavid again.
Yeah.
Do you have a 3-point night in all 3 games this week? Not Vegas.
No, Vegas. I don't think him and Draisaitl had a point against Vegas.
You're right.
That was all the depth guys stepping up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a 3-point night against Dallas, 3-point night last night. We clearly don't remember much about the Dallas game, so let's move on to last night.
So last night, huge game against Colorado, possible clincher.
Yeah.
Going in with all the high stakes.
Yeah. And coming off of 2 absolute battles against Colorado, one OT loss in Colorado, other one shootout at home.
Yeah.
And, I think it kind of felt like they were due against Colorado. They've played them really well. Colorado, this is the first time all year they lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big. But I'm not too worried about them.
Cale Makar did not look like his usual self.
No, he looked better than Quinn Hughes still, but he was no, he was good. I think Makar's always kind of scary when he has it. They had a big, was it the end of the first or the end of the second where they had the 5-on-3? End of the first, I want to say.
Yeah.
And this is what I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about
those 2 calls.
Not necessarily. I want to talk. I don't want to give the refs any time of day on this because those were fucking stupid,
brutal.
And like from where I was, that too many men call. That was one of the bigger bench calls I've ever heard. The guy came onto the ice, maybe entered the play 1%. He was. I wouldn't say he affected the play at all, and jumped back off. Refs did nothing, and you could hear in the arena loud as day. The Colorado bench erupts like, "Hey, fucking too many men yelling," and then the ref puts his arm up, and that's my biggest pet peeve. It's like, man, if you're not gonna call it, you can't let the bench call it,
or else the bench is gonna be calling calls all night.
Yeah, like you can't give them that little bit of.
What is the ruling if it doesn't affect the play?
I think so.
That's what I always thought.
I think it has to.
It didn't seem like it affected the play at all.
Not really. Like. I could see maybe you could argue, he had to change direction, but I don't think he really did. Like he kind of reacted to it a little bit, but I don't know. The hook was worse, I thought, than
that was a stick lift.
Yeah,
pure and simple.
The thing that made me more irked about the too many men was that I thought the bench called it.
Yeah,
like if the ref would have been immediate and called it right away, I would have been like, fuck,
come on,
maybe.
Come on, Kulak.
But
that's who jumped on.
I think it was. Yeah. But then the hooking call was egregious. That was
especially on a kill.
Yes,
like you're gonna call that ticky-tack stick lift on a penalty kill.
But okay, here's why I was going with that with the penalty kill. Their penalty kill. Forgive me again. I don't have the numbers on it, but their penalty kill has been
96%.
Yeah, tops of the league this last month, and kind of during this big run here. And I've always said it before. And I've noticed a little bit, Kane and McDavid have been a penalty kill pair. They kind of do it late in the penalty kill, like the last 30, 40 seconds. Draisaitl killed that entire 5-on-3. And I have always said that I think your best players have to be your best penalty killer. Okay, I'm taking credit. I am a spawn of him.
Yeah.
So
okay, all right.
But yeah, he always said that, but I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe he's right. Yeah. My grandpa always kind of said that, like, your best players have to be your best penalty killers. Like you just can't tell me that nothing against Derek Ryan or Devin Shore or guys like that. You say, oh, those guys are good penalty killers. Sure. Yeah. They might know what to do. They might know how to penalty kill. They might understand the other team's power play, but it's just, they're not, the other team's power play is Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, those guys. You need to put your best players out. Like in one-on-one battles, in little moments where you need to make a move, dump the puck out, it's better to have Leon doing it than against McKinnon than Derek Ryan trying to dig a puck out against McKinnon. So I always think your best players have to be your best penalty killers, and I always thought that was an issue the Oilers had, is their penalty killing units are 2 guys off their fourth line, 2 guys off their third line. You don't see Draisaitl maybe for a face-off, and then he rips off. It was always like Kyle Turris, like guys who are smart. Like nothing against those guys. They're good players. They're intelligent, but they're just not.
Yeah.
And especially against number 1 power play units, they can't compete. They're just not as good of players, let alone.
And now you throw McDavid out on a penalty kill. You cannot play the same.
No, it has a whole different element. Like it almost adds a danger to like, and at any moment
quick with the puck. You don't have as much time. You have to be crisp. Yeah.
And Dreisaitl's always kind of been their 5-on-3 guy, I think.
Always.
Him and Nuge, but Draisaitl, his stick got like deflected 3 or 4 passes, not necessarily got him out of the zone, but interrupted play, gave a little like 5-second leeway, and that's huge. Like
that's what all 5-on-3 is.
And then it's a little bit of a scramble to get the puck back, and then you kind of have to reestablish your setup and so I think that is a little bit of what I think is making their penalty kill so good now, is that I think it's their best players are out there. It's Nuge, it's Hyman, I
think getting Nuge back was huge for it too.
Yes, for sure. But because he's one of their best players.
Exactly.
And he's their best penalty killer.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah.
I still think he's probably our third best player. And I've been pretty high on that. Kane might be honestly making a case here.
He is on fire.
So then
let's talk about him.
Let's talk about Kane. So where do you want to start? The hat trick, the antics, the dragging guys into the fight. Like, where do you want to start with Kane?
All the above. I think he's been everything and more. Like, to think how many goals does he have on the year now?
20?
20 some? No,
I think he was at 17 going into yesterday and got a hat trick. I think he's at 20.
Like,
but
and how many
games though?
Fuck. Yeah, he's been as advertised. I think.
Got into it with Kadri yesterday.
Yeah, I think at this point,
McDermott, I think
I'd fuck him. I'd marry him and I'd kill him. Like passion kill if he left. Like I'd be so upset. He's all three, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was buzzing around last night.
He was.
And what I love is that everyone hates him so much. It brings a little bit of fire, and like the team has to kind of stick up for him, and it kind of drags guys into the fight a bit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I really think that is an aspect that the Oilers haven't really had. They've had it a bit with like Cassie being crazy, but Cassie getting into it doesn't really drag guys with him.
No.
And Kane does.
And Kane produces. Like Kane is a legitimate top left line scoring winger. Like he is legit. So he's
elite.
He's fourth on the team in goals. He's got 20 or he had 17 last night, 39 games.
Whoa.
20 goals. Like if he plays a full year, he's 40, 50 goal guy. He's up there. He's
playing with McDavid, yeah.
But yeah, to be fourth on the team in goals in half a season, like 39 games, that's
unbelievable.
He's been so good. And I don't know the guy off the ice.
We're gonna pretend all
be a
that
prick. I don't care. And I think that's why he gels with McDavid and Draisaitl because I don't think McDavid goes and chills with Kane after. All McDavid knows is when Kane's on the ice, he's got compete. He helps McDavid out. He's quick. He has a shot. He can bodies in the net. He takes a little attention off McDavid because he's such a prick. Like
exactly,
he's hacking. He's kind of dirty. He's a bull. Like I just love the guy, man.
I think that right there is probably the most underrated aspect. Is McDavid has such gravity. When he's on the ice, everyone's looking at. Everyone's so focused on him, and we've always struggled with that. I remember Pat Maroon was this way too. When he's being a prick about it, this that every eyeball on the ice, everybody on the ice on the opposing team when McDavid's out there has one eye on him at all times.
Yeah.
When someone's being a prick and kind of stirring some shit up, it opens up that space for guys to lose him for a second in a play. And it gives him so much more time and space. And what he can do with that is absurd.
On the Pat, sorry to change topics so abruptly, but on the Pat Maroon chain.
That's what we do here.
Fuck, I loved seeing old Pat Maroon in that.
Simmons?
Yeah, Simmons in that 8-1 shellacking of the Leafs. I just like Maroon yelling at their bench. You guys are fucking soft. You guys, like, what are you guys gonna do? Like, you're so like calling them soft, and then fighting Simmons and Maroon.
Smiling.
Maroon was just peak Maroon in that game, and I saw a little bit of highlights of it, and I think that game's got to be a little scary for Leafs fans out there. I don't know. Did they
match up with them first round?
Yep. Yep. That's tough, and that's a tough little thing to have in the back of your mind.
I think that is the worst matchup for them too.
For sure.
Because they are soft, but they're so good at scoring that they can almost outpace it just with crazy amount of goals. But you're going against Vasilevsky.
And against a team that also is kind of like that, like high octane.
Yeah.
They could play 5
anyway.
or 6 just
That's the crazy part about Tampa. They can play high octane, they can play shut down, they can play greasy, they can play dirty, they can play any way you want to play, they're there.
And they've been having a bit of a lull lately. Like I think, but that 8-1, that turns it all around. Like that you beat the team that you're going to play in the first round and you shellac them.
You don't beat them. You dominate.
Yes.
Post to post.
Yep.
Came to the post like a thoroughbred, you can say.
Came and coming to the gate like a thoroughbred.
You love that.
Fucking hate it.
Oh, that's great.
But Boston actually, okay, either way, Boston's 1 point back of Tampa right now.
Really?
Tampa has one game in hand, so if Boston passes them, then Toronto gets Boston.
I don't think I've seen a Boston game all year, and they're like one of my teams I don't mind.
They've been pretty solid lately. Yeah. I haven't watched. I always say they're my second favorite team, but no, yeah, I haven't seen a heck of a lot of them either. But like for Lee, so you either got high octane Tampa who just beat you 8-1, or you have the demons of Boston. Like I think that's a lose-lose for Toronto. I think they could win a series. Charles Barkley guaranteed it. So
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, weird one. Yeah, so Charles Barkley guaranteed a Leafs playoff win this year.
In the NBA, or
I don't know.
Do you think he's talking about the Raptors? Or
Yeah, got his Toronto teams confused.
way off topic today, but I just happened to throw on the fourth quarter of the Raptors game today. And I don't know shit about basketball, but that Joel Embiid was being the biggest fucking baby.
Yeah, you texted me. What was he doing?
So like they're down by like 10, 13 points, not going their way. And he's just throwing like elbows at him, just like biggest pout face, just crying at every call, laying on the ground.
Buddy, you're up 3-1 still in the series.
I know. It really, because I always thought I didn't think he was like that, but I was so turned off by him in that like 10-minute stretch at the end. Ugh. But I guess that's kind of basketball too. That's what guys do.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a league of prima donnas.
Kind of divas.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit of diva city.
I guess if you make, what's a max contract in the NBA?
No clue.
180 or?
What's LeBron getting paid?
I'm sure he's on max. Isn't there like something like a super max contract? Or am I thinking of prisons?
Well,
Super max.
NBA max. Yeah, Embiid rubs me the wrong way. He was tripping Nurse, that Nick Nurse,
What?
the coach.
Oh,
Not Darnell.
Yeah. I was like, what?
That Darnell
Kia?
Nurse in Edmonton's a bitch.
That's what I thought you were saying. I was about to come unglued. Nobody chirps Nurse. Oh, so I guess that's another big part of that game
here we
last
go.
night. So
Some bad news.
partway through the third, or maybe at the start of the third, I have no idea because we're at the game. You don't really get to pick up on this when they leave the bench and shit, but we just noticed Nurse ain't out there. And then another guy in the box he must be pretty up on this shit, pulls his phone and said, oh yeah, undisclosed lower body.
Yeah, I think
the
there's
rest
a
of the
lot
game.
of those guys on Twitter that kind of give updates, like Ryan Rashog and all
Mark
them who are in the
Spector.
building. Yeah.
Suspector said today that he's not traveling to Columbus and
Pittsburgh. Yeah, little 2-game roadie to end the year. Then they come back for 2 more at home. Do you think it's that much of a concern? I know it's too close to the playoffs for them to ever come out and say what it is. It'll be undisclosed. But I don't think it's the worst thing. I think if it was a major injury, like if he's going to be out for the season, they would say
For sure.
Nurse
I don't
out
think
for
of
the
that.
year.
Yeah.
I think he might be. He'll probably walk into. He'll play round 1. Almost guarantee it. I think if they had gone 6-3 in their last 9 and we're still battling for that spot, I bet you he'd make the trip. But I bet you he'll limp into the first round a little bit, maybe a bit banged up. But I don't think.
And I
that's
was
anything.
wondering going into that game if he was banged up because he had a tough first.
He did have a tough first. He
didn't look good.
That 3-on-1 was a horrible pinch. I don't know.
Which isn't really being banged up. That's a bad decision, right? So
Yeah.
maybe not. But then, yeah, you never know. Either it's, holy fuck, we need to rest him as much as we can. We need him for playoffs. Or it's just,
I think
we've got some games we already clinched.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think that's a little.
That's
it's more.
where
It's
you're
more
leaning?
precautionary than anything. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But I think Darnell Nurse gets caught pinching a lot because I think Darnell Nurse is probably the best, if like top 3, if not the best at like back checking as a defenseman.
He's such a strong
Like
skater.
he can track down anybody.
And not take a penalty.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Like he's so good at tracking guys down. Like he just gains 2 strides with every stride that he takes, and he's so good at it that I think he almost knows that he's good at it. Takes a couple, and maybe that's why you notice it more is because he has to do it a lot because he tends to pinch a lot and rely on his ability to get back because he's a moose getting back. Like oh man, he can catch anybody but McDavid.
Yeah. Well, like you look at his legs, like he's a tall guy and he's all legs. He can hustle.
Yeah, he
so
can track
that's,
he can track anyone down. I wouldn't want that guy breathing down my neck.
No. Wouldn't want him breathing down my old lady's neck either.
No.
Yeah, so that was kind of the highs and lows of last night. And then going in towards the end of the game, knowing that this is the clincher, what did you think of the response in the building for the clinch at the end of the game.
I thought it was great, man.
Okay, me too.
You didn't like it? What was wrong?
I thought it was great. I was telling everybody the story of when we clinched in 16 and we're at that game and how nuts that was.
Yeah.
Different story though, because that was our first time getting to playoffs in 11 years.
The first season in Rogers, the inaugural season.
But like, do you remember with 5 minutes left, nobody was sitting?
No.
And it was electric in there.
Yeah.
And every minute that counted down on that clock, it got louder and louder. And when that clock ticked down to 0, the building erupted like it was playoffs.
I can't remember exactly, like, what game of the year was that? Like, was that like the second last game of the season because I mean, this one, you got 4 games left. You're playing a team that you're not really battling for.
I think it was about the same.
I think they were playing LA, which was the team that was chasing them. Right. It was a 2-1 game. Like, so it was 1 goal. Last night was, I wouldn't say it was a runaway, but they were a couple goals ahead. Yeah. Like, it wasn't, but yeah.
Honestly, I don't think it's any of those factors. I just think it was that 11 years of buildup that made it that crazy.
Yeah.
But that was probably one of the craziest sporting experiences I've ever seen.
When they clinched.
Do you remember it differently?
No, I don't. I remember it being just as wild.
Yeah.
But
I remember that just being like one of the craziest things I've ever experienced, that clinching.
But maybe just because we went to the first like home playoff game at Rogers, that trumped that. Like, I had goosebumps that whole night when they did the intro video, and then it just kind of went like down, and then it got dark, and then all that came on it was just pitch black, and then all that came on the big jumbotron was "Let's Go Oilers," and there was no music, no sound, no pumped anything, and then the crowd just was "Let's Go Oilers," and it was so fucking loud. And then they just show like the oil opening up, and you can see Talbot and so the Oilers walked on to the ice, no music, no nothing, just to "Let's Go Oilers," and it was
look at my fucking arms.
I know,
right
man.
Now.
It was
my hair is standing
wild.
up.
It was fucking crazy. Like that. And maybe that
was only a couple.
That memory for me, I think, overshadows the memory of the clinching game.
Yeah.
But now that it is ringing bells. Because no one was sitting. Like you're right. I think it was definitely more of an atmosphere to clinch than it was last night.
But last night was not.
Not saying last night was dull by any means. It was pretty rowdy. Smith there's a really good shot of Smith kind of selling,
doing his classic,
his one leg up, and it's good. I'm fucking excited.
Pretty juiced. Yeah. All day today I've just been juiced.
Yeah.
Juiced.
Yeah.
So now, where do you think that leaves us? Oh, I'm going to ask the question, but then I'm going to go to something else and then we'll go back to it because that's awkward to just jump around like that. But where does this leave you for excitement? And like, what do you think matters for the rest of the season? Like
health.
What are you health?
Health.
Before we get into that stuff though, but I feel like we got to talk about Chris Russell this week.
Yeah.
Chris fucking
We talked
Russell.
about it. That's another pop of prophecy there. We brought him up in the 11-7 lineup, kind of wrinkled Woodcraft's
about that big hit he had against Nashville.
Yeah.
And then his performance.
Did he score the first goal against Vegas? Or I think he scored the first goal of that game.
Yeah.
That was that one where Cassian had 4/5 of the wide open net and didn't shoot and pass it back.
Yeah, that was brutal.
That was wild.
Thank God Russell scored that.
King Russ.
But then, since then, he's now on a 3-game point streak, has 2 goals, hadn't scored in 3 years or something crazy. And then got 2 goals in a week.
And last night in the third period, I remember when we realized Nurse was gone, I said, don't worry. King Russ can play some.
And he played amazing.
Oh, he had a great third. He kills like a demon. He just obviously the NHL history most
the golden shin pad award winner.
I think he is the definition of heart and soul, man. Like I think the guys love him. Like he just has that, and he wouldn't stick around here for however many years, 4 or 5 years, if he didn't mean a lot to the team and didn't bring that little element. Because to be healthy scratched for most of the year, I know he was hurt maybe once, but he's been healthy a lot. And really, the only time he sees the ice now, especially with the addition of Kulak, is when they do this 7 defense kind of rotation.
Right.
He'll get out there now that Nurse is gone too. But
do you think now that Nurse is gone, they go back down to 60, or do you think they bring up Broberg and still run 11-7?
60. They'll go 60.
Okay.
I think they'll run 60. They'll probably and then I think.
Do you think Broberg sees any ice time before the end of the season to try and get him in the mix?
I I don't think so. Isn't he down on the farm right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't think they bring him up. I think they use
I just think maybe with Nurse going down, they might.
Maybe Samirkov.
Let's talk about him last night too.
No, I think it's a good opportunity now that you kind of go away from what's been working. You're clinched. I think you put in Shore, you put in whoever. Archibald can maybe play the couple home games. And now I think you maybe use it to stop riding McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman as much.
Yeah.
You maybe, not saying run or roll the lines, but you play them. You don't play McDavid and Dry 22 minutes a night. You maybe drop them down to 17, 18. And
again, not to keep going back to other shit, but what a game McLeod had yesterday too.
yeah, he's
With Pugliarvi. So
he's turning into a real solid.
Yeah. And I don't know. I thought we talked about this, I think, on the first episode, but he has never had a bad game all year and seems like he's plays better each and every game. And I almost like I'm waiting for him to plateau, and he hasn't yet, which is really exciting.
I was worried when he got his hair cut. That was weird. I saw him, he got it buzzed off, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, that's not bad
like
juju.
Samson?
Yeah, that's some bad juju. You get cut off a mop like that, and he hasn't skipped a beat. So I think
he was getting double shifted yesterday.
Yeah,
and like with Pugliarvi going out, which has anything come out what that was? Illness,
yeah.
Non-COVID related or what?
Yeah, maybe Ingo was right. What? He's getting his tongue surgically removed from his nose.
That was funny.
Maybe he got it wedged in the nostril. I don't know. But yeah, they said illness. I haven't seen more about that either.
So hopefully he's back soon. We got a night. When do we play next? Monday?
I think Monday night. Yeah.
I have it in front of me. One second.
Yeah, in Columbus, Monday.
Yeah, Sunday. No, tomorrow. Sunday.
And then Pitt on Tuesday. And then you have Thursday, Friday, back to back. So
back.
Will our next episode? You want to do it Saturday again, and then we'll do a fucking playoff preview. The boys will be buzzing.
I love it.
4 more games under the belt. This regular season will be over.
Ooh, I might be in Slave next week.
We'll do it in Slave. I'll come.
Oh, that'd be fun. It'd be really fun.
Yeah,
ooh, I'm excited for that.
Or we can do it remote.
Yeah, we could hop in on the Zoom. Yeah,
I could come here, do it from the desk.
That's funny. Yeah, Kane. Crazy game. Russell, crazy game. McLeod, crazy game. Nurse got hurt. Pugliarvi out. Kind of covered everything in the little week recap. Got the clinch.
What do you think? So I think the month of April now they are 9-1-1. Is it 1, 2, 3?
I think they're like 11-1.
5, 6, 7,
11-1.
8. So the month of April. Sorry, they're 8-1-1. Before that, I think they're like 16-3-2 or something. What do you think has been the biggest difference coming from that big time lull? What do you think has been? Has it been Woodcroft? Has it been special teams? Has it been the goaltending finally kind of stepping up? Smitty back to his normal self. What do you think?
I think it is. It's kind of everything you just said, and I think everyone puts that at Woodcroft's feet, and it might be. You never know. But to me, it always goes back to McDavid. It always has, always will. When he starts playing like that mutant, like he can, like just absolutely doing things that blow your mind, it's almost like, what am I watching out there? Which is that when they had that lull, he was not one game in that lull did he play like that. For whatever, like we've already covered, he might have been hurt, might have done this, might have given up on the coach, who knows? When that turned around, the whole team and the whole energy shifts around. Then the goaltending starts to come up. The confidence, when they go down a goal, they don't give up. Like they like all those things kind of flow off of that. And I don't know what that might have been Woodcroft that made him turn that around and bring that back out himself. It might have been like we talked about, where he just realized from the last 2 years, I can't play this mutant style and go into the playoffs. I'm too beat up. I need to take a break in the middle of the season. Maybe that's it. I don't know. What do you think it is?
Here's my out there.
Oh, okay.
Theory.
All right.
Here's
all
my
right.
out there theory on what it is. I think it's fucking COVID, because they come out of the gates full bore. The opening night is full bore. Rogers Place.
Energy.
I don't even know if there's fucking masks on. People are rowdy. Their mouths are open, like showing some teeth,
Tonguing each other,
growling. Like that place was wild.
Yeah.
And they come out of the gates hot. Like I don't know what exactly their record was, but it was something.
Yeah.
They're first in the division, first in the conference. you come back beginning of December, that tough stretch where they had, I think it was Minnesota, Toronto, Boston, Carolina, all in a big shebang, big homestand. But that was right when COVID was starting to rear its ugly head again. The restrictions were coming back, the mask, it started to go down to half capacity.
Yeah. Brutal energy in the barn.
Horrible. Like
Brutal.
a couple
No
guys,
concessions.
a couple guys on the team got COVID. They're traveling around. I think our team is so not
energy dependent.
Yes, I think they need that. They need that buzz.
I agree.
And I think maybe not necessarily people were giving up on the Oilers or thinking the Oilers were shit, but I just think it's as a result of everything that was going on, the buzz is probably COVID, and they had a tough stretch, so the buzz just dulled.
And I think there's certain players, and I think McDavid's one of them. Where
I think he low key is. I think he.
And
feeds
that's
off
I think
at
what I was
winning.
saying is like that turnaround that I put at McDavid's seat, but I didn't know the reasoning. I think you might be right on what that pulled him to,
because I think, and you can hear it when you're
remember
there.
That New York game?
Yeah, man,
That was all crowd.
I think you can hear it when you're in there. Like when McDavid has the puck and the crowd recognizes that he has 5 feet of room. There's just that like raise in volume, and people
there's electricity in the air,
and it almost just gives him a little nitro boost, and you can tell he's like, "Fuck, I do have room." Like the crowd knows it, like, and he gets that little extra zip in his pep in his belly there, and
I think everyone follows him when he starts playing that.
Yes.
Everybody follows suit because Draisaitl never likes those two have never liked being one up with the other. No, since they came in the league, they've always been, trying to outdo each other, and then the rest of the team just follows suit.
And that with that point where they're always trying to one up each other, I think that's why all these years, maybe not the reason, but I think that's why it's a good thing that they've been split up for so long. And now that they both have like legit wingers to carry them, and they don't really need each other. McDavid's buzzing with Kane and Puljujarvi or whoever's on his side, and then that Draisaitl, Yamo, Hyman line.
Yeah,
I would like to look at the in-depth numbers of them, because I think their possession numbers, they've got to be through the fucking roof, man.
And
they're never in the defensive end.
And to not need to put Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with Draisaitl and McDavid and let him drive a line is huge.
Yeah, huge. But not necessarily drive a line that needs to score. He's driving an efficient, a steady, defensive, smart, tidy little line. Yeah. And that's his style of play.
Too. Yeah. That can score too.
Every once in a while. Yeah. We'll pot one.
And I think when he was playing on those McDavid Draisaitl lines, he was 90% of the defensive responsibility on those lines.
Yes.
Because that's just who he is as a player. But I think that puts him in a really weird spot where you can kind of put a whole line together that plays that way.
And I think it was he had a tough time with Dry and McDavid, because he is, like, since his junior years, he is such a natural centerman.
Yeah.
And then when you put him with McDavid or Draisaitl, he's like half left wing, half centerman in the defensive zone, but not taking draws.
Did
and
you
being
notice
a winger.
Last night they had someone else taking a draw? I only noticed it once on Nuge's line. I can't remember.
Derek Ryan.
It was Ryan.
I think Ryan and Nuge are both fairly good centermen, and they almost
which side
situational. Yeah.
And then Ryan got kicked out and Nuge took it anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Which is nice to have. Especially with those fucking horny linesmen that if you wink, they'll kick you. Yeah. Like, oh my goodness.
What happened with Draisaitl and Kadri? They got into it. It was a bad drop, and Draisaitl's just giving it to him, and like took a real long time to settle back in, and it's just giving to him, and Kadri's giving it back, and they're just John until the linesman threw Kadri out.
I don't know,
but it was like 10 seconds of jawing before, and then he threw him out.
I don't know.
You didn't see that?
I don't remember that. No.
Oh, it was weird. It was in like right in front of you, kind of on the far, like not the corner closest to the box, but the one over.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was really weird. I noticed.
I remember when Kadri wouldn't fight Kane.
That was hilarious. And then you see Kane blow up with someone else is coming by and he's like, "Cross
you want to fight me?
I'll fight any of you fucking pussies." That's the biggest aspect of Kane's game. That the oil, like, we need that. We needed everything. Like you say, we needed everything Kane has to offer for sure. Yeah. We're pretty desperate for a player like that. But like, to drag guys into the fight like that, where he is, and to be that skilled and that tough, is such a good combination.
Yep.
Like, cause you don't have to fight the, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a big, shitty, tough guy. Like,
Reeves. Even though
he's got some skill. Though. I'm trying to think of guys like McIntyre.
I don't
think
those guys are extinct, man.
Yeah, there's not much in the league. But like Zadorov and like
Zadorov's a good D man.
Okay, shit, you're right. It is tough to find a big meathead.
Yeah, like Radko Gudas.
Yeah,
but like he scores, man. He's got a shot. Like I don't know,
because like
I don't think a pure McIntyre, even a George Larocque, who we might talk about a little later.
Yeah.
Those guys don't exist anymore. And Eric Goddard, a Bugard, there's no guys that play 2 minutes a night and have 10 minutes of penalties.
Yeah.
They don't exist because in today's game, you need guys on your fourth line that are serviceable.
Yeah.
You need them to kill the odd penalty. You need them to do something. Like every second is important. You can't just have some fucking lug out there.
So for Kane, who in the league do you think is tough enough to actually go him, but also skilled enough where it'd actually be worth it for Kane?
Well, worth it for Kane? What do you mean?
Because like Kane's not going to fight. Like Zadorov's a good D man, but like that's not a good trade off. He fights Zadorov. Like I would
say maybe like
Tom Wilson, maybe.
That's the name I had. I also had Lucic.
Lucic, yeah.
But yeah. I would. Fuck, I wouldn't want to lose Kane for 5 minutes to take Lucic off.
No, not at all.
I don't know.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That is a very powerful position to be on the ice.
Johnny Hockey?
Because then a guy like Kadri for Kane, again, I still think Kane's better, but it's worth it enough, and he's going to pump his eyes shut.
Yes.
Right? Yep. So now he can go, I will fight any of you fuckers, right? Like anybody wants to get squirrely? Let's fucking go. Yeah. Like we got to see last night.
Yeah.
You know, like
he's not backing down from anybody. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's a guy in the league that Kane wouldn't fight.
No, he fought Reeves.
I think he'd fight anybody.
He's fought a bunch of real tough guys
and
done well.
Yeah. I think
like Nurse.
I think he would fight any person in the whole fucking league.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That is awesome. It's nice to have that guy.
And then he fucking scores 20 and 39. And it's like, oh my God.
Remember a conversation we had a while back when he first came in about him being a point of game player and just how he keeps getting better and that he might finish the season point of game. Where is he sitting right now for points per game?
I think he had 20 goals, 17 assists in 39 games. So he's 2 points off of being a point.
And if he keeps playing like he's playing right now, he probably will finish the season point of game. Comes in cold turkey.
He's got 36 points in 39 games. 20 goals, 16 assists.
Wow.
And he's plus 24.
Wow. Right? Like that's some big production.
Yeah. That's
for a guy that can pump the eyes shut of like 90% of the league.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I like that.
I really like that.
We like that.
We like that. In this house.
You like that?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so really great week. Clinched playoffs. Everybody's fired up. Rest of the season, stay healthy. Maybe see some different personnel, some different responsibilities.
Do you think?
Yes.
You don't, but
I don't.
Do you? Would you? I don't know how to phrase this.
Just try. We'll figure it out.
Do you think? Could you see McDavid and Draisaitl maybe taking a game off, or are they both too psycho that they'll be like, nah, we're going to play?
I think...
Or do you think that would even cross anybody's mind? Like, do you think if they...
I think there might be people within the Oilers organization that try to bring it up to them. I think they're going to be way too psycho to do it unless there's something nagging or they're feeling a little bit run down.
Yeah.
Then they might.
Like, and I know home ice is important. Mm-hmm. I think, what is LA? Are they 2 or 4 back of us right now?
I think they're at least 4. I don't think it's all that close.
So yeah, I think if they're 4 back, we've got a game in hand. They only have
4 in a game.
They only have 3 games left to play. So I think maybe the Oilers get one more win or LA gets one more loss, and then you look at those 2 and you say, hey man, we're not catching Calgary.
Yeah.
LA's not catching us. There's no movement in the standings. The only thing that may be in jeopardy is
Huberdeau.
The Art Ross.
Mm-hmm. Which it's tough because Connor and Draisaitl always say the right thing. They always say, we don't care about those. Those are individual awards. We're all about the Stanley Cup here. Mm-hmm. They always say the right things. But actions-wise, you can tell by the way the team plays. Like when one of them is going, like last year when
the net is empty.
When the net's empty.
Like
feed them. They do care.
They do.
So
for sure.
Which I don't mind. I love that they care. I wish they would talk about it, and I wish they wouldn't bullshit.
Do you think it's more of them individually caring or the group as a collective caring?
I think it's
the
both.
coach wants,
and I think
the team wants them to.
I think it's both, a lot of both, but I think they can lean on the team caring so that they don't have to look like they do. But I hate that. I wish guys could just be, no, I care. Clear. I invested my whole life in this. Clearly, I fucking care. I care about my legacy. Be honest about it. But there's just, it's sports like, this is what I love about UFC. It doesn't have any of this out. It doesn't have 50, 80 years of legacy and like tradition to keep up with. So you can just speak your mind and tell, no, I'm like, there's guys in UFC says, I don't care about the belt. I'm here to make money, right? Like I'm here for that, which is a completely different sport. But I wish more guys in hockey would just be honest about what
there's other sport. Like I would say NBA and NFL guys pretty freely talk about wanting to be.
But MLB and NHL, you don't really hear much of it.
I can't.
You get like the Jeremy Roenick's and shit every couple of years that like kind of come out, or like a Trevor Zegras, even a young kid that's just, I don't know, maybe it'll fall off with time, but he's pretty, kind of says what he wants and shit like that. But I love that. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
All about it. But yeah, no, I think they do care, which is
so long story short, you don't think they'll sit out a game. I think
unless there's something
unless there's something bugging them physically,
or if somebody within the organization just says, not up to you. Sorry, you're sitting.
Yeah.
But
I don't think anybody would have the nuts to say that.
Nobody's got the stroke.
No.
Yeah. Imagine little nerdy Woodcroft going up to him and trying to put his foot down. What I've really liked to see, it's almost tough to watch a little bit, is when Woodcroft last little while is like started to get mad at like refs and shit, like started to get a little fiery on the bench.
I fucking love that shit.
I love it, but it makes me giggle.
Why?
Because he looks so nerdy.
He's such a little dweeby.
And he must not be. Like clearly he wouldn't be in that position he wasn't, but just like optically. Like I would love to go for beers with Woodcroft just because, like, he's got.
We'll get him on this pod one day.
Fuck yeah, we will. Get him 6 beer deep and start bullshitting. Oh, that'd be fun. We will. We've actually been talking about a couple different guys from the hockey world to try and get on here as guests. That'd be pretty fun.
That would be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Get Connor on.
Yeah. Once he's done, once he has the cup, and after we do the parade out back here in Ingos, we might get him on a live, like shoot a live one.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why fucking not?
Doing it live.
I mean, when they do win the cup, I think the Oilers Uncensored podcast is going to be such an integral part of the run that, like, really they'll owe it to us. Oh God.
Do you think they'd put our names on the cup?
I'd say it's about 50-50 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd have to pull a couple strings, but I think we could make it happen.
I think so. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
No, like it's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck.
That fucking shoot big.
What?
Shoot big.
Shoot big. Yeah.
Shoot big.
Shoot for the stars.
Shoot.
Because even if you miss, you land on the moon, baby.
Oh, gee.
Oh, yeah. I'm full of it. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Sure.
All right. Well, that's a good week recap, and then kind of what we're seeing off into the future towards the end of the season. Do you got any chases?
No, I kind of asked my couple
questions
as we went there.
Okay, so the only one that I think I had asked you what you thought of it, and we said we won't talk about was that ref or linesman. I don't know what it was.
Oh, the ref kick.
The ref kick. So, like, just to paint a picture for someone, you probably have seen this, but D-man goes to reverse it kind of behind through the corner to his D partner. Does a perfect little reverse. Ref or a linesman gets in the way, hits his skate, and he realizes, okay, I just fucked this up. It was supposed to go to this guy.
And
so
it's very obvious that the guy on the other team is going to get it.
Yeah. So he kicks it where the pass was going to go. I hadn't seen it. I heard them talk about it on Chicklets, and Whitney and Biz, they all said, you know what? He knew where the puck was going to go. It happens a million times. I have no problem with him kicking it, right? And I thought, and in my head, because I hadn't seen it, I thought, for sure, I have no problem. But I was picturing behind the net, and I was picturing nobody around. But then when I saw it, the offensive player that was going for it
was literally...
He changed direction to go towards the puck there, and then had to change direction where it kind of fucked him up. So I'm like, ooh. Now I kind of felt differently about it. I don't hate it. I'm fine with it still, but like it wasn't as cut and dry as I thought. And I'm curious what you thought of it.
I don't know. I think it was. I think if I'm the offensive player, if I'm the forechecker, I'm fucking livid.
Livid. Mad.
If
That's what I
I'm-
thought. Yeah.
If I'm screaming at the ref, I'm getting suspended for abuse of an official. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
We missed that too. The abuse of an official last night.
When?
So Connor's going down on that partial break.
Oh,
gets the good hook right on
unsportsmanlike.
gets hooked right on the hand.
The bench minor.
Throws his arms up, gives it to the ref all the way back to the bench, sits on the bench, and then he must
barking at
he
him.
must have been.
Yeah. I haven't seen a bench minor in sportsmanlike all year.
Me neither.
Like,
So he must have been going right. But that's the thing. I think refs hate his fucking guts.
how could they though? What has he ever done? I know you said you made your point in the pod before, but like, what has he fucking done to a ref? He's done nothing.
I don't know.
But be awesome.
I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying, like, I'm always a big actions guy, right? You can say anything you want, like we're impartial, but you just watch actions, right? That's my thing with politicians, with anybody. I don't care what you say. I'm going to watch what you do, and I'm going to judge your motivation by your actions.
Yeah, I'm with
and
you
the
on that.
actions of the refs just seems like they have it out for fucking Connor and Draisaitl. They fucking cannot stand them. And I don't know if it was that stretch where everyone...
I think my stance on it is I think some refs maybe have a little bit of that, not small.
I can picture this one ref in my head that I despise.
Yeah,
that
and
clearly,
and I
hates
think
him.
if you can broaden it out away from McDavid and Draisaitl and include
Oilers.
like Crosby
Kane.
and include superstars. Like, I think some refs almost don't want to take it from superstars more, because it's like, if I take it from this superstar, I'm like
opening myself up to anybody.
yeah, I don't want to I don't want to be submissive to this superstar. I want to, and then they take it to the extreme, or they take it too far, where they almost like use the superstar to prove a point, where it's like,
yeah,
fuck you. You think you can yell at me because you're Connor McDavid? Here's two.
Yeah.
Like, here's a bench minor. Fuck
Cassie
you.
can get in the box.
Yeah, but whereas, like, I think some fourth liner screaming at a ref, the ref is more likely to shrug it off because he's like, I don't really even fucking know this guy. Like,
Right.
But when it's McDavid, some refs have it in them where they're like, if I like, fuck you. You think you can yell at me because you're a superstar? Fuck you. I'm the ref. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And you've seen a couple times where refs don't turn their mic off or whatever, and you can hear them like literally saying to play, shut the fuck up, or fuck you. Like, they I think refs have a little bit of that in them. For
sure.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think that might be, I don't necessarily think it's just McDavid, Draisaitl. I think a lot of superstars out there that we don't necessarily see all the time probably deal with the same thing, because I think refs are a little bit like that.
Yeah. I agree. And I think
That's
you made
why
some
I
really
always
good
got
points.
2-minute penalties for yelling at refs. I was
He
such
got a lot of those,
I was
hey?
such a star in Westlock that the refs didn't want to take shit from me.
92 points.
Actually, 94, but
94. Why did I always say 92?
I don't know.
92
I don't
in my
know
head.
why. Give me some credit, man.
Fuck, sorry. 94
I ran that
points.
1660 midget B league. That was I fucking ran it.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I think also now with Kane, who just, I don't want to hear it from anybody that Kane does not have some detractors, right? Like, I think and I'm not saying it's not deserved or whatever. I'm not even going to say that, but like, just understanding that, like that game where he got 3 penalties in like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
Not all of them were. He kind of got a greasy little trip where
Yeah.
his stick ended up under the
You're
guy's
right.
blade.
You're
you know,
right.
but it's not like he was going out and being an idiot and got a CFB and then came out and hacked
how
the
about
guy.
that CFB last night on McKinnon before he scored?
Yeah.
Did you watch the replay?
No. Didn't want to.
But remember, we had the big discussion. I didn't think that went off a stick. I thought that he just did a nice little shot, tucked it under the bar. You said it was tipped.
Yes.
And you said, well, watch the replay this morning. I didn't watch it.
Me neither. I think it was tipped.
Do we pull it up right now?
This day.
Can you pull it up right now? I don't know how to find it.
I do. Here, talk
Okay,
a little
I'll
bit.
vamp. What else? What else?
We never really finished talking about the ref kick.
The ref kick. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was my thought. I thought one thing, I still don't hate it, but I agree with you. I think you made a good point. If I was that, now after watching it, if I was that forward that went to forecheck and changed the whole direction when I saw it hit that skate, and then I'm 2 strides closer to the play, and then you kick it away, and now I have to change direction and I'm completely out of position, that kind of fucks me and I'd be mad. But also, there's nothing that's more annoying when your team makes the right play and a ref or a linesman gets away. And to their benefit, it happens so rarely for how much you think it would happen. Like refs and linesmen are amazing.
Yeah, it never hit anybody.
I told you. He just tucked that under the bar. It was a beautiful little snipe. Not a hard shot.
No, it was like a saucer pass.
Yeah, he
top
just cut it.
shelf. That was fucking weird.
That's what I said. I thought just, yeah. But first, he gets absolutely CFB.
Yes.
Huge.
Hard.
So the refs are calling these ticky-tack bullshit stick-lip penalties. Okay, and then Nathan McKinnon gets blown up from behind. I don't know who hit him.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I think it was Stacey.
Maybe. No call. Gets back up. Gets the puck in that spot. There's about 14 little shimmy shakes there. It had the puck for like 5
you can see
seconds
he
of
was
space.
looking past the whole kind of way and then looked off again. Yeah, it was a nice little.
Who has the best no-look shot in the league? And why is it Connor McDavid? Who else is known for that? Because I feel like I see Connor do that. Not lately.
McKinnon does it. Patty Kane.
Oh, right.
Patty Kane
that is
danger with the no-look, man.
Just so funny because the example I was going to make is like guys who are good on their backhand. Because there's just certain guys like Draisaitl, like Crosby. Crosby's a big one, but also Patty Kane. Mm-hmm. He's got a wicked backhand too.
He does. I think it's just you got fucking skill. You can do it on either side, man.
Yeah. But it seems like oh my goodness, apologies. It seems like certain guys just have that next level of backhand where they use it a lot. Like Draisaitl passes more on the backhand than he does on the forehand.
Yeah.
He will put himself into positions where he can only pass backhand. Yeah. And then fire one through like 4 guys to try and catch McDavid.
There was
into the D.
There was a pass he made
last night.
No, it was against Colorado, but it was a couple of years ago. Like I want to say pre-COVID. And the only reason it really sticks in my mind is because they always show it on NHL 22 during the little like you're at the main menu and they're showing little like promo packs in the background, and Draisaitl's superstar ability is tape to tape.
Yeah,
and they always show this pass that he was probably at his own blue line breaking out. McDavid is far side along the boards, maybe red line, and Draisaitl flips on his backhand and rifles one. Like you or I would not be able to pass it this hard forehand.
Yeah,
and he sauces it maybe like knee height sauce. Kind of weaves. There's Colorado back checkers, a defenseman trying to pinch perfectly between them. McDavid lands and leaves McDavid perfectly wide on the guy, and he scores wide.
Yeah,
and they always show that clip. But if you could go back and find that clip, watch it. It's probably the best.
I think
it's the best pass of all time.
Yeah, that pass is sick.
It was insane.
I thought Draisaitl's ability was the puck protection because I've watched you play some chow. I don't play it myself, but I've seen you
my
play.
ability is puck protection.
No,
his number one ability is tape to tape, and then he's got like a bunch of other ones like big rig and all. Like he's got a bunch, but his number
reverse hits.
I wish
he fucking
McDavid is starting to reverse hit a bunch. How fucking did we talk about the call where he got called roughing? I think we did talk about it, where he got his stick yarded out of his hands, and then he's going and he has nothing, so you reverse hit that guy and got roughing. I think we did talk about that.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
That was a hard fucking. They called it a rough. I thought it was an elbow on McLeod last night.
When?
Right, I think it was maybe third period, right by their own bench, coming across the blue line, or like just inside the zone from the blue line on the boards. Somebody came up and like was gonna miss him, so he just throws his chicken wing up there and just mucks him on the jaw.
Yes,
Remember that one? Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah, McLeod probably ate it. McLeod's unreal.
Oh yeah, or maybe it was Bouchard. No, it was McLeod. One of them took a good old chicken wing to the
and they called
the
it
giblets. Yeah,
wow,
called it a rough.
What a call!
No shit. What else? What else we got?
I don't know. Do you want to talk any UFC? Do you want to? Because
there's the UFC card on right now as we speak.
We could preview a bit of next week, but I think it's kind of a jam-packed week. They go on the road. Columbus, like we said, Columbus tomorrow.
How's Columbus doing this year?
Poo.
I
think the Eastern Conference this year is such a weird story where it's literally it's a tale of two conferences. Yeah. You have the top 8 and the bottom 8. Mm-hmm. The top 8 have been clinched since November. It seems like the top 8 have been the top 8 all year long. I think we might get to it on the playoff preview next week, but I think that literally probably one of my storylines I'm looking forward to most is just literally the entire Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Like you can say Washington might be the team you count out, but like, can you?
No.
You
can never count on a team
like,
with. Yeah.
You look right from top to bottom, like Florida. Carolina's kind of lacking a little bit. The Rangers are close to taking over that division, first place. Pittsburgh, you can't count them out. Like Boston is on a heater of a run. They're coming to the gate like a thoroughbred. and then like Tampa, Toronto. Like I think that Eastern Conference, every series is going. There's not going to be a dull series in that Eastern Conference. But
I agree.
And Columbus, I think they're one of the top of the bottom, but they've just been irrelevant. I think Laine's had a pretty good year.
Yeah. Who's Jack Roslovic? I think he's been playing good since he got there.
Yeah. They've got a couple players, but
This is way out of pocket. But what the fuck happened to the Jets?
fuck them.
Fuck them. But like that is do you remember another team that looked so good and like they're going to be good for another couple years that just fell off the face of a cliff?
I think. I mean, they had a couple good years since, but I think the beginning of the end was that Bufflin year, and so they went 1 year having their right side was Bufflin, Tyler Myers, Jacob Trouba.
Whoa.
And then the next year, all three were gone.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, they had a good year. I think might have been before the year they beat the Oilers in the playoffs there.
That was before that.
Yeah, well
Buffalo
before.
was gone.
Well before.
I think it was 2 years before.
But they had a couple good years, but like, I think the reverberations of those losses are kind of like, that is a tough off season to lose like three right. They always say right-hand D-man, big right-hand D-man are kind of the toughest thing to come by.
Yeah.
And you have three quality top right-hand D-men in Myers, Bufflin, and Trouba, and then one off season that's gone, disappeared. That's a tough thing to recover from.
I think it was they lost Bufflin 1 year, Trouba the next, Myers the next.
All same year. I guarantee you look back, it's all same year.
Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Well, why, if they were, I guess they owed me because they didn't know they were going to lose Bufflin.
Yes.
So they traded Trouba because they were going to lose him anyway.
Yep.
And Myers,
I think, signed somewhere else.
Vancouver. He hasn't gone anywhere else. He went from Winnipeg to Vancouver, but Vancouver's only had him for 2 years, I thought.
I think they've had him for 3 or 4.
Maybe. That could be.
But because the only reason I'm 98% confident of it is because I remember talking with my grandpa about it.
Yeah.
And being like, they lost all three of these guys, like bing, bang, bong.
But that's the thing, like, still a strong forward core. Like, they had Scheifele, they have Connor, they have, Wheeler. It's kind of up and down a little bit, I guess, the last couple of years. But
Scheifele's overrated.
Think so.
Yeah, I whispered it because
you don't want him to hear you.
I don't want it to be too loud. But I don't know. I've never ever been super sold on him. I think he's solid. I'd take him on my team. I think he's a good dude, but I think he's a little bit overrated. I think Connor's better than him.
I think Connor is one of the most underrated players in the league, man. I think Connor is wicked. Watching him play, I think he's special. I think he kind of is a little bit of the Jet syndrome where he's kind of, in Winnipeg, like nobody really gives a fuck. But I think you put Connor on any other team that's half decent, and he really shows what he's made of.
Yeah.
But he's young enough that will, if I'm right on that will prove itself.
How old is he? 25, 26?
I think he's in that range.
Yeah.
So is Hellebuck, man.
Hellebuck would look good in the orange and blue,
copper and blue on old Hellebuck.
Yeah, that would be tidy.
Oh, that'd be so tidy. You like that word,
I do like that
tidy.
word. Tidy.
Fuck, you look good. Who else would look good in old copper and blue?
John Gibson.
Kale McCarr.
Are we only talking goalies here?
No, I mean, well, we could.
Well, so are we talking realistic, or are we just like, because fucking Victor Hedman, like, who else do you want?
I don't know. We're planning parades. You might as well dream big. Shoot for the stars.
So, I mean,
baby.
once they win the cup this year, who wouldn't want to come to the Oilers?
You're right. That is a good point. I hadn't thought of that. The card that's happening right now, nothing worth talking about.
No.
I was excited for that Tyson Fury Dillian White fight, the boxing match, and then I realized I go to look at it, I see on Instagram, he's got...
Was it overseas? Was it in England? Or?
It must have been. Because everybody knows Tyson Fury's from there, but I think Dillian White might even be from European or something.
Yeah.
I think he might be from the UK. I don't know. But Yeah, I just see he's got Francis Ngannou in his post-fight press con, like in the ring with him. I'm like, oh shit, I missed this fight. I'm so excited for it, but whatever. Who cares? And then he retired apparently.
Oof.
Said he's
Tyson?
done. Yeah.
I thought he was going to go against Ngannou or one of those.
I think he's
boys.
retiring from boxing, but he said
Not
if they
for,
can
it's
make
kind of like Floyd. He's retiring from boxing, not from entertainment.
exactly.
Yeah, I like that quote from Floyd. That's a good one.
Yeah. I like a lot of quotes from Floyd.
Yeah.
He's a smart motherfucker.
Smart.
Smart. I know everyone thinks he's dumb because he can't read or whatever, but
Yeah, I think
smart
he's extremely
motherfucker.
street smart.
He's all kinds of smart.
Yeah.
He's got a team around him. Like I didn't know this until they had that Mayweather
Who the fuck is Mayweather?
who the fuck is Mayweather? The McGregor Mayweather press conference world tour they did where they went to like Toronto,
that was
Dublin,
a
New
fucking
York.
clown show, man.
Clown
but
show.
awesome.
But I was listening to lots of podcasts like Brendan Schaub, and he was part of that press tour and went along with it. And he was like breaking down just as a guy who doesn't have to hide nothing, just like how he operates and like the team that Mayweather's got around him and how smart he is and like only let certain people in the room like for like interviews and stuff. Like he has everything figured out. Like I think he plays a bit of that persona as, oh, I'm this dumb guy that can't read. Probably doesn't, he doesn't want that going around, but like, I think he does't fight it as much as he can.
Maybe he has a guy who fucking reads for him.
Exactly.
Like, imagine.
You're worth that much money. Who cares?
Yeah. You've seen that interview of Snoop Dogg where he's talking about how he has a guy that just rolls him blunts.
Yeah.
And it's Howard Stern. He's like, how much do you pay that guy? Like 40, 50 G's a year. 40,000 G's just to roll blunts for Snoop Dogg. Could you imagine?
Speaking of combat sports, they had old Bobby Green on Joe Rogan's podcast the other day.
Oh, nice.
And he was rolling some fucking big ones. Yeah, yeah. Like the whole time he's just rolling, telling crazy stories. He's on like 4 hours, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's pretty OG.
Whoa.
Hit some crazy stories about.
Bobby Green got a fan in me
Yeah.
after that Houston.
Yeah,
show.
exactly. That's why I brought it up. It's great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, he was talking about going down and fighting in Mexico, like when he was an amateur
Yeah.
and shit. Yeah,
There's a when is that Phoenix card? That's May 7th. So 2 more weekends.
2 more weekends.
Yeah, that'll be big. We'll talk about that maybe after.
Yeah. We will.
We'll
break
have a playoff preview along with the UFC 274 preview next week. That'll be a big epi.
Man, that's gonna be 3 pay-per-views since Houston. Hey, crazy.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah,
Seems like fucking literally yesterday.
yeah. That road trip was so much fun.
Yeah.
I was actually talking about that last night in the hot tub after the game. How much fun that Texas part of that road trip was. That was a ball. A ball.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Should we call her fucking quits?
I think we rambled on for a good
Yeah,
amount.
my
What
voice
was
is
it, an hour
fucking
and a
dying.
bit?
Hopefully I can actually talk like a normal human
Yeah.
on the next one. We'll
Clinch,
figure something
baby.
out. Clinch, baby. What else can you say? Oh, I'm an idiot. I had Oilers.com.
What can you say?
I had Oilers.com up this whole time, and it has like "Let's Go Oilers" and it has Ched under it. I'm like, oh, it's like a 6:30 Ched crossover or something. I look on the other side, it's got Pulley Harvey and it says Clin. And it's like clinched across the whole thing. I'm like, why do they have like a big Ched thing? I'm an idiot. Until you said clinched as I read it. I figured
We're
it
Clint
out.
Ched.
Clint Ched. All right. I'm Nick Von Walkerbarth. He's Chase motherfucking Rao. We're good looking. We're ready to fucking party in the playoffs.
And we love you.
And we love you. Bye.
Bye.